Tonight we fight, I got Lucario EX and mine got that muscle band combined with some strong energies, alright, yeah. Evolved all EX might have resistance, but I don't care. Got the fighting stadium card and play to kill you every time of the day. It's a part of the game, Darkness Pokemon have been laying on the table for far too long. They're all the same, now people can play something else until they go away. They might survive, but I'm sure they'll have it tough, because gonna stack for Virizion decks now. Yeah, Heracross, and have you heard the latest news about Mega Metacross? No, it's not in the latest TCG set, but I just wanted to get that out there because I care, and people should be aware about a Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire coming our way. Yo, yeah, in November. So, about Furious Fist, I'm not pissed. Lots of cards are useful and they bring back Super Scoop Up. EXs will survive when you scoop the mob. If Terrestrium doesn't chew the mob, tag team Electivire Mega Mortar is hard. Backing a punch with 160 damage is a lot. Anything that's tough, well, you should hear the rest in this episode, so what up? What's up YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here and welcome to episode 70. This episode will be about Furious Fist, which comes out on the August of 13, and there are 113 cards in total in this set. 5 regular EXs, 4 full art EXs, and 3 full art trainers, and 2 mega EXs. So a lot of stuff to look forward to. Also, I skipped one set, Flash Power, which was all about fire stuff and powering items with fire and stuff. But this episode is about Furious Fist, which means the fighting type Pokemon get a boost with trainer cards and some megas and stuff. Alright, let's get it started. The first card on my list, Victreebel. It's in here for his ability, Wafting Sand. Once during your turn, before you attack, of course, you may discard a grass energy attached to this Pokemon, and if you do, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused and poisoned. It's like the Hypnotoxic Laser, but then you can use it over and over again each turn because it's an ability. But I'm not a big fan of this because it's a stage 2, and we know stage 2s are really hard to get out without rare candies, and rare candies take up spots in your deck, which is never good. Next we have Heracross EX, the first EX of the set. It has like 2 attacks that really fit together. His first attack is Guard Press, dealing 40 damage, ideal for getting some damage out there. And it's like during your opponent's next turn, any damage done to this Pokemon is reduced by 20. And then the other attack is Giga Power, dealing 80 damage. You can do 40 more damage, which total up 120 damage. But then you do 20 damage to yourself. It all depends on the situation, but 3 retreat cost is not really good. Definitely when, luckily for us, Catcher has actually been powered down, but still 3 retreat cost is not good. If it gets dragged up by a flip a coin, Catcher it succeeds. It'll be stuck in the active spot if you don't have energies. Next we have Mega Heracross EX, yeah. 220 HP, which is a ton. Yeah, that's right, but it's a mega for something. The attack deals 180 damage, but it gets reduced by 10 for each damage counter on Mega Heracross EX. So lots of HP, which means if you have over 18 damage counters, which total up 180 damage on your Mega Heracross EX, you deal no damage at all. So it could become useless, but we still have like healing cards and stuff, but it can really pack a punch if you play it well. Next we have Asselgore, or how you pronounce it. Also the last card was Japanese because it hasn't been released yet when I made this episode. Anyway, Asselgore, the first attack, Raise, dealing 20 damage, and if this Pokemon evolves from Shelmet during this turn, it deals like 60 damage for 1 energy, which is really, really powerful. 1 energy reminds me of Donphan Prime back in the days, but still, also it has a 0 retreat cost. You can get him back to the bench, heal them up, no problem. So, could be decent if you, if some players manage to get them Asselgores in the deck. Next is Magmortar, which works really well with Electivire. I'm gonna talk about Electivire in a minute. First we have Magmortar. It has 120 HP. His first attack only deals 30 damage, and you can search fire energy and put it on this Pokemon, attach it to this Pokemon. So it's like, building up itself, but it's a stage 1, which is really decent. You can get it out on turn 2 if possible. Next we have a second attack, Twin Burst, dealing 80 damage, and listen carefully, if Electivire is on your bench, this attack deals 160 damage instead. Wow, This is really powerful. 160 damage, combine that with the muscle band, and you deal 180 damage. The total of most knockouts for EXs. So it could be a combination. While you don't run any EXs, you run Magmortar and Electivire. Next up, we have Blaziken. Blaziken back again. Burning Shot, his second attack. You discard 2 energies from this card and you deal 150 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, or actually to one of your opponent's Pokemon in general, which means if they try to hide behind the bench, you can knock them out with a Burning Shot. Also a stage 2, which could be hard to get out, but also his first attack is not bad, dealing 50 damage, so for a simple DCE is decent. Next we have Poliwrath. He is back in the set once again. His attack Submission deals 130 damage and you deal 30 damage to yourself. 3 retreat cost and 140 HP. The artwork is nice, but I don't think this card will actually see some play because it's not really that anything powerful, but I wanted to mention it anyway. Poliwrath, a Kanto Pokemon. Next is his counterpart, Politoed. This one is way better. It has an ability, King Song, ignore all energies and the attack cost of each of your Poliwhack and Poliwhirl or Poliwrath. So I could be wrong when I said Poliwrath wouldn't see any play. You can combine them with Politoed and then you can ignore all the Carlos energy, which means you only need 2 water energies to deal 130 damage for your attacks with Poliwrath. Also, his first attack is free with Politoed out. And this first attack is 60 damage and it deals 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon as well, Poliwrath. So maybe we could see like a Poliwrath Politoed deck. Who knows? Anything's possible with the new set. Next is Glaceon. Just another evolution. I'm not gonna talk about every evolution because the Eevee itself is really good. I'm gonna talk about its ability in a second, but this is just out there because it has Blizzard, dealing 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon combined with 30 damage. You know Glaciate, and back in the days from Kyurem, that was really powerful, but yeah, for 1 energy, could be decent. Next is Seismitoad EX, the second EX of the set. It looks really terrifying, 180 HP, also weak to grass, which is not good with a Virizion, Dex and Genesect out there, but still it's an EX, could be decent to collect, and it has the attack Grenade Hammer, really great pronunciation of the attack, a grenade, which is powerful. It deals 130 damage and you can deal 30 to 2 of your opponents, of 2 to your bench Pokemon, so you deal damage to yourself. This EX is not good. Okay, next is Klauser, or however you want to pronounce this. It's still a Japanese name because I don't have the English scan yet. It has the attack, the first attack, dealing 30 damage, 1 energy, switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Okay, that's not anything marvelous, but second attack, it deals 20 damage for each water energy, actually 50 damage plus 20 more for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. You could see a combination with Blastoise, stocking up all the energies on the Cloudster and then using the attack, bang, lots of damage. But once it's knocked out, all your energies are gone, but you can combine it with Super Rod or something like that. Alright, next up is Aurorus, the Ice-type fossil Pokemon, 130 HP. His attack, I wouldn't attach energies to this bad boy, but he's here for his ability, Ice Shield. Any damage done by an opponent's attack to each of your water Pokemon that has any water energies attached to it is reduced by 20. So you can have like a shield for your Mega Blastoise or something, because reduced by 20 is, yeah, it's decent. Next is Electivire. I talked about it with Magmortar, but he also has a combination attack. His first attack, Team Spark, deals 20 damage plus 20 more for each energy attached to your Magmortar. So you can stack up energies to Magmortar and then use for 1 energy the Electivire to bang, zap your opponents away. I think that would be decent to think about the idea of an Electivire Magmortar deck. Next is Thundurus, 120 HP, so good basic, 1 retreat cost. Is like the good type electric Pokemon out there. Let's see, Raging Thunder Punch, dealing 30 damage, and if your opponent's Pokemon has a tool card attached to it, it deals 60 damage instead. Second attack, dealing 100 damage, so it's not that amazing, but it still has lots of HP and 1 retreat cost, so it could be fit in a couple of decks maybe. Next is Jinx. Victory Kiss is its ability. Once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you heal 10 damage from your active Pokemon. So it's sort of like a healer for your active Pokemon, but healing only 10 damage is not that much. Next is Hypno, That's right. He has the attack hand control. Your opponent reveals his or her hand, and you may choose a supporter card you find there. If you do, your opponent plays that supporter card. However, you make all the decisions for that card. It's really not certain of how it's used, but just imagine yourself, your opponent has a supporter or something, or and you can decide how it goes. Maybe you can have some really powerful situations with that, but yeah, it's Hypno for some reason, controlling everyone. Next is Got to Tell. In the days in which it'd be really good to block item cards, but this time around his ability is Teleport Room. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may discard any stadium card in play, so you can discard your opponent's stadium card as well. And if you do that, put a stadium card with a different name from your discard pile into play, so actually disrupting your opponent's stadium card. Sort of like the stadium cards where you have to use it for Hypnotoxic Laser or something. You can get rid of those with Got to Tell, but it's a stage 2, so not that powerful. Next is Machamp. His ability, Fighting Fury, makes each fighting type Pokemon deal 20 more damage, so you can combine it with Lucario and pack a punch, but still a stage 2, which is not that good. You have to reserve slots for rare candy, as I mentioned. Next up we have Hariyama. He has the ability Tick Fat, and it's actually the exact same thing like in the video games. Water and grass, actually ice and fire. What am I saying? Not grass. Fire and ice is reduced by 30, since water and ice is the same type in the Pokemon trading card game, so water and fire gets reduced by 30 if you attack on Hariyama. Next we have Lucario EX, the third EX of the set. He has 3 attacks, which is always awesome. No ability though, but since Garbodor is there stinking around, we don't have a problem with ability locks. Anyway, we have his first attack, Missile Jab, only dealing 30 damage, which is not much, but it's just 1 energy. Then we get 2 energies, you deal 60 damage, and you can draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. Wow, that's really powerful to get like a backup or something, knock something out, and get your hand restacked. So really great. And his third and final attack is Somersault Kick, dealing 100 damage. So lots of options with Lucario, little damage, lots of damage to get cards in your hand, and also his powerful kick to deal 100 damage. Next we have Mega Lucario EX. This one deals 140 damage, 3 energy, Rising Fist. Discard an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, so disruptive as well, and dealing 140 damage combined with Muscle Band and the upcoming Stadium card I'm gonna talk about is really powerful. Okay, Landorus EX is next. Just like Thundurus EX, has some decent attacks, not anything that's spectacular, but it only has 1 retreat cost, and it has 120 HP, which is always a good thing. Next is the Fossil Tyrannosaurus Rex Tyrantrum, 150 HP. This is really a lot actually for a stage 1. So, but it's a fossil, you don't get him out that quickly, but there's a supporter to help you out with that. I'm gonna talk about it in a second. Tyrantrum, he has the attack Chew Up, it deals 60 damage. Whatever, but it has a side effect. If your opponent's active Pokemon has any special energy cards to it, just think about DCEs or something like that, you deal 90 more damage, so 150 damage in total. Isn't that insane? Yeah, I know, he really chews them up. Also his second attack, Giga Impact, for 1 extra energy, deals 150 damage on the spot, so a really powerful Pokemon. Too bad it's weak to grass though. Next is Hawlucha. The first thing I noticed about this card is it has no retreat cost, which is perfect. Next is the Shining Spirit ability. Damage from this Pokemon's attack isn't affected by weakness or resistance. So 60 damage you deal with this attack, it's straight away 60, it doesn't get lowered by resistance or something. Also it states if your opponent's active Pokemon isn't a Pokemon EX card, it deals nothing. So it's actually like dealing attack on dealing damage on EX Pokemon without having to worry about resistance or weakness. I really thought like if it was for weakness you could knock out some Darkrai's, but since it doesn't get lowered by resistance, you can actually take some damage on the Yveltals. Next is Hawlucha EX. This is still a Japanese scan, as I mentioned. I don't have all the English scans yet, but it states with the ability Strikes Back. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an opponent's attack, even if Hawlucha gets knocked out for some reason, put 2 damage counter on the attacking Pokemon. It's sort of like Aftermath from Drift Blim in the games and stuff like that, or the attack from Sharpedo, if you attack it, then you get Rough Skin or something, but it's just like Aftermath. And also his attack 60 damage plus. If any stadium card is in play, you deal 100 damage straight on. So just get that stadium card out there, Hypnotoxic Laser, and you can get a decent amount of damage going on with Lucario EX. Next is Klefki, is the support Pokemon, and this time around in TCG, it's no different. It has the ability Secret Key. If you place it down, each of your Fairy Pokemon's resistance is now minus 40, so Darkness Pokemon will have an even harder problem with the Fairy type Pokemon, because their resistance is minus 20 for Darkness, gets turned to minus 40, so maybe Fairy decks will rise. Who knows? Moving on, we have Dragonite EX. His ability Bust End. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, it's a basic Pokemon, so it's really easy to do that. You may move any number of basic energy attached to your Pokemon to this Pokemon, so you can actually absorb all the energies to Dragonite, but if you do, you switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon, sort of like, as it says, busting in, and its attack is Jet Sonic, dealing 80 damage plus 40 more if you discard an energy. You don't have to do that, but 80 damage and just busting in like that could be decent. Next is Flygon. It's like, if you know Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the trailers going around, we have the super secret bases, and the main protagonist from the super secret bases actually has a Flygon. Just some random information to get you guys pumped for the games. Also, his attack from the Flygon and the TCG, we have Rainbow Shower, attach as many basic energy cards as you like from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. Too bad it's a stage 2. A basic with that power could be awesome. Next is Noivern, really looking forward to that card. It has the ability Echolocation. If any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks, you can flip a coin, and if your flip hits, prevent all the damage from that. So it's sort of like extremely fast that you avoid the attacks. Next is attack Boom Burst. I love the attack. This attack deals 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Sort of like reminds me of Kyurem's Glaciate, dealing 20 damage to every Pokemon, but then 30. It's really powerful. Stage 1, only 1 retreat cost, so maybe I will test this out. It's like, just imagine your opponent has a full bench and then you deal 30 and 30. Wow, I can't believe it. And actually, it's really not that hard to set it up with some dark patches, and you can just yeah, get them switching around with some great trainer cards or some abilities. It could be decent actually. Next we have Eevee, the energy evolution. You attach an energy card from your hand, actually a basic energy card, to your Eevee, and if it has that type, you can search your deck actually for a type that resembles the energy type you give into your Eevee. So if you attach a lightning energy, you can search your deck for a Jolteon, and for grass energy a Leafeon, and just on and on. This counts as evolving this Pokemon instead, so you can actually evolve it straight away. It's really simple to get the evolutions out, even on turn 1 this is possible. Eevee is just really great to evolve at the beginning of the game, but the evolutions are not that powerful. Next is Slacking, his attack Amnesia, dealing 50 damage, and you can actually choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks, and then you just say you can't use that attack during your opponent's next turn, so you cannot use that. So just imagine, I think most things will say like you can't use X-Ball or Evil Ball or the attacks, the major attacks like that, but still a stage 2 that does have 150 HP, but 4 retreat costs, Slacking, you really slack off. Next we have Tornadus, the best of the 3 genies I talked about. It has resistance to fighting, which is great because this set comes with lots of fighting Pokemon. It has 1 retreat cost, and its second attack deals 60 damage plus 60 more if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent. Reminds me of the Omega Prime back in the day. You also had to have like the same exact hand size. But this is really great. 120 damage for only a DCE and a regular energy is really something not to take lightly. Next we have a Battle Reporter supporter card, which actually helps Tornadus a lot. Draw cards until you have the same number of cards as your opponent, so could be decent as a supporter. Next is Energy Switch, which is really great ones that yeah, like I talked about, get the energies from Dark Patch to your Boom Burst Noivern. This could be something. Next we have Fighting Stadium. This Stadium card is actually really great for fighting Pokemon. The attacks of every fighting Pokemon in play do 20 more damage to the defending Pokemon EX. You can knock out EXs really fast, get the Fighting Stadium card out, maybe a Hypnotoxic Laser, and then a Muscle Band, and then a fighting Pokemon. Knocking out some Darkrai's would be really easy. Next is a Focus Sash. If the fighting Pokemon this card is attached to has full HP and would be knocked out by an opponent's attack in one shot, the remaining HP becomes 10 instead, and then you just have to discard this card and you are not knocked out. So just like in the games, 10 HP remaining, and then you hear that sound, annoying sound, peeboo, 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 in the games. I don't know if you guys hate that as well, but anyway, next is Fossil Researcher, which makes it really possible for Tyrant to get on the bench and really stir some things up. Search your deck for 2 and any combination of Amora or Tyrants and put them on the bench, get some Tyrants out there, and then Tyrantrum dealing that really powerful first attack, chewing up some stuff. Next we have Full Heal, removing the special condition. This is really great for all those Hypnotoxic shenanigans going on lately. And next we have Jaw Fossil, if you want to get out your Tyrant the regular way. Really not that easy. Look at the seven cards from the bottom of your deck, and then if you find a Tyrant, then you can just put them on your bench. It's an item slot that you waste. I think that the Researcher is better. Next we have Corina, the supporter. Search your deck for a fighting Pokemon and an item card, reveal them and put them in your hand. So they're actually promoting fighting Pokemon in this set. Next is Maintenance. I don't think this is not a good card. You have to shuffle 2 cards of your hand into your deck, and then you only draw 1 card. So it's really terrible in my opinion. A bigger hand size is always good to have the options to do a lot of stuff out of nowhere. Next we have Mountain Ring, prevents all damage done to the bench Pokemon by attacks. This is not good for the Noivern I was talking about. If you don't know, you have to attack the bench with Noivern, and with this card it's not possible. Next is the Sail Fossil, just like the other Fossil. Just for the Amora, actually, the long neck Pokemon. Next we have a Sparkling Robe. This Pokemon, this card, the Pokemon this card is attached to can be affected by any special conditions. So it's sort of like a block finally for the annoying Hypnotoxic Laser or something. Yeah. Next we have Super Scoop Up. I love that card. Flip a coin of heads, you can get your Pokemon back and all cards into your hand. Just imagine yourself, your Mega Heracross EX or something like that, has 10 HP remaining with the Focus Sash or something, then you Super Scoop Up back to your hand. Wow, that's awesome. Next we have Tool Retriever. Choose up to 2 Pokemon Tool cards attached to your Pokemon and put them in your hand. Why would you want to do that? Who knows, maybe if you want to reuse them to other Pokemon when your active Pokemon is being knocked out or something. Next is Training Center. Each Stage 1 and Stage 2 Pokemon and play gets 30 more HP. Wow, really great trainer card. So the Stage 1s and Stage 2s, they're actually promoting like the Tyrantrum with like 180 HP. Maybe we could finally use Stage 2s. Next are some special energies. Herbal Energy is the Grass type energy, provides as a Grass type energy, and when you attach it from your hand to one of your Pokemon, you heal 30 damage from that Pokemon. So a heal energy. Next is a Strong Energy. If you attach to this Pokemon, any damage you do, deal 20 more damage. So yeah, I'm gonna read it again. The attacks of this fighting Pokemon, actually the attacks of the fighting Pokemon, so you have to attach to fighting Pokemon. Lucario with a Strong Energy and a Muscle Band, knocking out everyone. This is what I predict in the future. Next we have Heracross EX. It's just like the regular one. I'm gonna show the full arts one by one. Here we have them. Next we have Seismitoad EX. This one looks really cool in my opinion. Up next we have Mega Lucario, not Mega Lucario, just the regular Lucario EX full art. Next is Dragonite EX full art. And then some supporters in full art. We have Fossil Researcher. Could be decent in your Tyrantrum deck, chewing up everyone. Next is the, how do you call it? I'm gonna go back for a second. We have Corina. Yeah, I was always forgetting her name. Corina, the full art card. Next is the Battle Reporter, just like the one before. You can draw cards until you have the same number as your opponent. And that's it, guys. I reviewed the most interesting cards, I think. It's my opinion, actually. If you have better cards, you can post them in the comment section. Some cards could be useful that I forgot to mention. But this sums up my summary of the review for the Furious 5th set. I'm looking forward, the 13th of August. Definitely gonna get a box maybe of the set to get myself back into the game, just like I was never gone. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for more updates. I'm gonna do an extra Poke News maybe about Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so definitely check that out. And to get myself away, just one question: which card are you looking forward to the most for the Furious Fist set? Let me know in the comment section below. This was ZapdosTCG zapping out. Peace.